Welcome to Real Estate Exposed, helping people in San Diego buy, sell, and refinance their biggest investment, delivering you timely truths, exposing important issues, and helping you get into the right home. Here are your hosts, real estate expert Daniel Beer, top-ranked professional by sales volume at one of San Diego's largest brokerages, and his mortgage partner, Todd Pianin, with over $2 billion in funded loans.
Hey, good Sunday morning to you. This is Real Estate Exposed, News Radio 600 KOGO, Todd Pianin and myself, just excited to have a great morning with you. And we have a big show. We're going to be talking about the huge disservice that the media is doing so many of our potential home buyers and our real estate market as a whole. We're going to expose that truth and bring light to what the reality is of today's real estate economy and what the real buyer behavior is versus what you're being told. We're going to be also unveiling the truth of how difficult is it really to get a loan. There's a lot of assumption in the marketplace. People make up their own mind. They parrot what's told to them, either
by the media,
friends, uncles, relatives, or lost long cousins in foreign countries. But what is the reality here locally? How difficult is it or isn't it to get a loan? And staging. Okay, we receive a ton of questions on staging. What's the truth behind it? Is it worthwhile or is it a waste of money? And we're gonna dive deep into that topic.
Good morning, Dan. You know what? This was my favorite weekend all year. You know why it was my favorite weekend all year?
Why was it?
Because it was Comic-Con weekend. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am to be going downtown San Diego in the Gaslamp District and me hanging out with Stormtrooper, Superman, Batman. I mean, all the favorite characters that you just don't like. I'm not into it. You know, if it does magic, if there's a wizard involved, if like foreign galaxies are part of it in any kind of way, then I'm just not into it. No Harry Potter, no Lord of the Rings, none of that.
So I actually deviated from my ever-standing position of being completely anti-wizardry.
Right.
I did read two Harry Potter books.
The first two.
I did read the first two. Actually, the biggest mistake I made was I watched a Harry Potter movie after reading a book.
Right.
Killed it for me.
Oh, yeah. Definitely killed it. I mean, the books were great. The shows were great. I mean, and you know, I have to tell you, I mean, I mean, this weekend, though, I have to tell you, it's just craziness. I love Comic-Con so much, and I love the fact that it brings so many people to San Diego. It brings so much revenue to our local businesses. It highlights the Gaslamp District, which, to me, we have so many unbelievable restaurants down there now. I mean, downtown San Diego has turned into just a unbelievable mecca. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, there is part of the magic and the wizardry that I do appreciate, in fact, that I love, and that's the money that is poured into our local economy and the significant impact it makes. And I really hope that whoever is going to be making decisions moving forward, because we only have, I believe, a couple years extension
2018.
And who, you know, I hope that the powers that be pay attention to not only the economic clear advantage that it does give the city, but look, we were told all our lives, right? Money isn't everything.
Right.
So does it not count for something that there is just so much happiness going on out there, despite my own, despite my comments?
But the exposure.
People are happy. San Diego's buzzing. The restaurants are full. The bars are full. The hotels are full.
The local TV show. I mean, not local TV shows. I mean, our local TV shows. I mean, Fox and all the news stations are down there. But I mean, even Conan O'Brien is here this week. I mean, you got Howard Stern here this week. I mean, the amount of media attention that is being poured on San Diego just because of this one event that I know that you're not a Thor fan or a...
But I am a fan of this. I know that I've sold homes to people that have been here for Comic-Con, enjoyed the heck out of our city beyond what was offered at the convention, but just simply, it's a reason for people to come to town and intoxicate themselves with what San Diego has to offer. It is America's greatest city.
It is.
And it is not far-fetched here. I think any of us can conceptualize the idea that if you get somebody to come and spend a weekend downtown or 3 or 4 days downtown, or perhaps they go and stay in Mission Beach, or maybe they pick up a place in North County and then drive down to the convention. But regardless of where they choose to be, what an amazing opportunity for San Diego to highlight itself and to further imprint its positioning as one of the cities that, if you're an American or if you live anywhere in proximity to, if you have the financial means to get to America for a vacation, this is a place you have to visit. You're missing the boat if you're not, and events like Comic-Con make that all the much more possible.
And for me, the geek that I am, I mean, to have, Superman here, Batman here, Ben Affleck playing Batman. I mean, Henry Cavill playing Superman. I mean, you got the new Star Wars movie coming out. I mean, hearing all the data that came out this weekend. I mean, I'm just jumping out of my skin. But besides jumping out of my skin, one of the things we have to talk about, Dan, that we really have to talk about is the presidential race. We made a comment a couple weeks ago about Donald Trump throwing himself into the race, and now I have to retract a statement that I made because I said to you on the show that he's probably doing this for publicity purposes only, to kind of push all of his other venues, all of his other pieces that he gets royalty fees on. And I don't know, Dan, if you heard, but NBC fired Donald Trump from The Apprentice. Macy's has now no longer going to carry the Donald Trump suits. NBC is no longer going to show the Miss Universe or Miss America pageant because of, as you said, it was going to be folly. This was going to be folly of the things that came out of this guy's mouth.
Well, when we said that he was going to use the opportunity to, to increase his wealth, and by the way, I applaud that. I'm a capitalist. But what we didn't anticipate is that he would take the opportunity to call every Mexican crossing the border a murderer, rapist, and drug addict. I mean, the things that this guy said are appalling, unbelievable.
Yes.
And you know what? Good for the sponsors, good for the corporations, good for the Macy's of the world and NBC and so on for not standing for it. There's consequences to everything you say, and forget a presidential candidate saying that. But it's just just anybody saying that is so blatantly
disrespectful,
ignorant,
and ignorant.
It's you know what? I was actually born in Mexico City, and
I'm on a radio show with you.
I was born in Mexico City.
Yeah.
I don't even feel disrespected because when somebody makes such a silly comment, it's sad. It's a sadder reflection of themselves. So anyway,
but that brings us to another point I have to talk about.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Dan doesn't like to talk about himself, and Dan doesn't talk about how successful him and his team are. But I have to tell you, I mean, Trulia came out this week, Dan, and I think they ranked you something like 18th in San Diego County and like in the top 100 or close to the top 100 in the state of California for real estate transactions. I mean, that's amazing, Dan. I mean, you need to be, we're half year in and you're number 18. Can you imagine where you're going to be in December? I mean,
that's the number I'm hoping to report because, and I appreciate that. And we are blessed. We have an amazing team. We did just a tremendous amount of business last year, but as competitive as I am, I'm not even really ready to, blare that out loud too far until we could at least get into that top 5 or hopefully that top position, and we're shooting for that next year.
You're so humble, but I have to tell you, I mean, the people above you. I mean, I think the thing that you, the listener, needs to understand is that Dan does a tremendous amount of transactions. This was ranked on dollar volume. So the customer service level that his team offers is unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. And I'm just super excited to see that, you are nationally ranked. I mean, that just blew me away, Dan. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. And in fact, if you want to connect with us, we are actually super excited to be announcing our home selling seminar that is coming up August 11th, 12th, and 13th.
All across the county.
We have locations across the county. We have various times that will fit your schedule. And at this home selling seminar, you're going to learn the top money-making fix-ups that make sense when preparing your home for sale. I'm going to be, and our team is going to be presenting why most have the sales process upside down, okay? The real estate sales process is broken. Here's a simple question for you to ponder, and it'll clue you in as to why. Tell me what else, tell me what other industry, what other high-ticket item is sold in privacy. People in real estate, people go and have these private showing appointments, completely void and of competition. We're going to explain why most have the process upside down and what the most effective sales process and strategy does look like, so you can get what everybody promises you, but you can deliver, which is that you're going to get the most that the market will bear for your home.
This is a free event too, right, Dan?
There is no charge, and it is August 11th, 12th, and 13th. Just simply call 888-991-3003. Again, that's 888-991-3003. You'll get registered. You'll get all the options for times and locations. And more than anything, I'm just so much looking forward to meeting you. And I hope you'll come and join us at our home selling seminar. You're going to learn exactly what it takes to sell your home in today's market and what makes today's market and today's strategy different from yesterday's or tomorrow. And so this is News Radio 600 KOGO. That you're listening to Real Estate Exposed with Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin. And coming up next, you're going to hear why the media is doing you and the rest of the housing market a tremendous disservice. And we're going to expose the truth and get you clear. Welcome back. This is Real Estate Exposed, News Radio 600 KOGO, and I'm here with Todd Pianin of Samuel Scott Financial. I'm Daniel Beer with Windermere Homes and Estates, and we are going to use this segment to really call out the media, and specifically, there's an article in the UT San Diego that just came out online, and frankly, it's doing you and the rest of the market a huge disservice.
The media is just, it beats the garbage. I don't know what I can say on the radio, what I can't say, but there's so many misconceptions that the media puts out there in the world that of being able to buy a home and why to buy a home. I'm so glad we're going to talk about this, Dan, because let's just pull back the darn truth, because this article, in my opinion, I'm sorry, and if I get beeped, is BS.
Here's what was reported by Trulia, picked up by our local paper, or at least the online version. And so they're reporting a study where the big headline, the big scary headline is harsh reality for young home buyers, and says that Trulia study says it's going to take 18 years to save for a down payment. When you drill into the article, you discover that they're basing this huge statement off of the idea that if you're earning the median household income $89,000 a year and saving 10% of that income, that it's going to take you 18 years to have enough down payment for a 20% down payment on a median price home of $589,000 in San Diego County. In that sentence, there are like 5 things that are just absolutely false assumptions.
Well, I mean, and they're saying 18 years on today's median price home.
Correct.
So 18 years from now, the median price home in San Diego, I don't have a crystal ball, but it's not going to be $589,000.
It won't be. It'll be higher, but I still think that the problem here is that somebody's going to read this article, that headline, right? This is how human behavior is.
Right.
You're listening. You're going to read the headline, and when somebody reads a headline that says harsh reality for young home buyers, and that headline, by the way, is the trending headline, and it's in the top story area on their on the UT San Diego webpage,
right?
Which is going to get even more eyeballs on it.
Right.
It sheds a very negative light on home ownership. But the reality is this.
Landlords love it.
Landlords love it. But the reality is this. Okay, here are the illogical steps that have been taken in formulating this article, and why I think it is so toxic. So here we go. Number 1, they're assuming that your first home is going to be at the median price point of $589,000.
Right.
Well, the reality is it doesn't work that way for most people. Most people are going to save up to buy what we would call more of a starter home, maybe get in at $300,000 or get in at $350,000 or maybe $400,000, but they don't have to jump. Like, there's no rule written anywhere that you have to jump to $589,000
right.
for your first purchase.
Right.
Second, it bases the entire article until you get all the way to the bottom and then find a little hidden line that, there are other lending possibilities. But it bases the entire article and this scary headline on the idea that you need a 20% down payment in order to be able to make that purchase. Todd, do we need a 20% down payment to make that purchase?
No. I mean, if you're a veteran, you can do a home purchase with 0% down. Do you realize if you are a veteran, you can do a home purchase, and we have a lot of veterans here in San Diego, you can do $1 million purchase with as little as 10% down.
And just about anybody can do a 3.5% down.
FHA, 3.5% down up to $546,000. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, this is such a misleading article.
And the problem is that most people will just see that headline, right?
Right.
Most people see the headline. Harsh reality for young home buyers. Truly, a study says 18 years is safe for down payment. Most young people reading that, that's going to subconsciously just plant a negative seed and erode the confidence that person may have had in wanting to gear up to put that plan together to buy a home.
I was talking to a friend the other day. She sold her house, and she's looking at renting right now because she doesn't want to buy, right? And we're going through Craigslist ads, and we're going through all that kind of fun stuff. And the security deposits that people are asking for are basically down payments that you could be buying a $300,000 or $400,000 home.
It's incredible, and I need you to definitely go deeper into that. And you're listening to Real Estate Exposed on News Radio 600 KOGO, Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin, your real estate and mortgage pros. And we're actually we're inviting you to our home selling seminar. This is going to be an awesome event. There are various dates, August 11th, 12th, and 13th, various times. There is bound to be one that fits your schedule and location. And
it's free.
There is no cost to it whatsoever. You're invited to join us at the home selling seminar that is going to teach you the top money-making fix-ups when preparing your home for sale, why the traditional sales process for selling homes are completely upside down, and what you need to know to actually put the most effective process and strategies for today's market. Today's market is distinct from yesterday's and distinct from tomorrow's. What are the best and most effective strategies for today's market to be able to get the most out of that the market will bear, to get the absolute highest price? That's what everyone's after, but can't just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. There's an actual systematic, predictable process to getting there. We're going to share that with you for free August 11th, 12th, and 13th. Go ahead and give us a phone call, 888-991-3003. You'll get registered, and you'll get your time and location.
It'll also be on our Facebook page, right?
You can definitely find us on Facebook, Real Estate Exposed, Dan and Todd. That phone number, again, is 888-991-3003. 888-991-3003. And Todd, jumping back into this, it's you're talking about.
I mean, the security deposit piece I was talking
exactly.
about. I'm going through properties with her, and they're asking for first, last, a month security deposit, a pet deposit, and I'm going, babe, this is like 3.5% down. You could do FHA. I mean, you're giving somebody. I mean, renting a property, which landlords love you. You're great, make a lot of money, help our economy in San Diego. But you are the real estate market. You need to be able to understand that you can get in with little money down, 3.5% down, and you get the tax write-off for the interest reduction, and your property is going to appreciate. That 3.5 is going to move in a year or two.
So this is why it's great to be a San Diego property owner, and specifically to be a San Diego landlord. Because we keep hearing about these rising rents. Well, why do we think that we have rising rents? Okay, we have rising rents. First of all, because it's a natural progression of how a society matures, and especially a great place like San Diego, it is natural that you'd have a degree of rising rents.
Right.
But we are not helped by the big headlines, and unfortunately, not everybody gets to take the time to really dive in. And even if they do dive in, not everybody is able to completely decipher what's right, what's real, what's not. And so that's what we're here for. Don't let articles like this take your eye off the ball. Get a savings plan in place. Get with somebody like Todd at Samuel Scott, who's going to actually let you know exactly what a plan is, not a 20-year plan or whatever nonsense is stated here, but what a 1 year, 2, 3 year plan, or maybe a 6-month plan to get your purchase done. Coming up next, we're going to be diving deeper with Todd into what it takes to get a mortgage in this market. What's the truth? This is News Radio 600 KOGO, Real Estate Exposed, iHeartRadio. Welcome back. Todd Pianin and Daniel Beer with you this morning. This is Real Estate Exposed on 600 KOGO. And we're going to pick up the conversation talking about how difficult is it really to get a loan in today's market? Because you hear people make all kinds of assumptions. Hey, it's nearly impossible. The media puts it out there. Lending is tight, money's tight, financing is tight. Todd, what's the truth?
Truth is, it's not so tight. Truth is that, we're getting loans for people. We've talked about this. Day out of foreclosure, day out of bankruptcy, low down payments. People are thinking that they're trying to buy even $1.5 million home. Dan, I can do $1.5 million loan with 10% down for somebody right now. I can do a loan for somebody who's looking to buy a house for $5 million with 20% down. And a lot of people out there believe, and they are hearing that they need a big down payment. They need to show lots of income. And we've got more and more lenders out there that are easing up the policies. Way back, the crisis happened, right? The mortgage market imploded. It was impossible. We were asking you for letters from your neighbor to tell me how great of a person you were. That's how hard it was. But now, I'm going through the process, and we're doing it. I'm personally not, but I've got clients going through the process that in the past, when I would ask an underwriter to waive a condition that, the client couldn't come up with, they would say, no, not going to happen. Conditions got to stay. Now they're like, waive, no problem. No, understand. We can handle that. Not a big deal. We can get deals done with 1-year tax returns. We can get deals done with just W-2s and pay stubs. People don't realize how the pendulum has now shifted back. In the past, people thought I need to give you 2 years of your tax returns, all my pay stubs, bank statements for the last 12 months. I got to open you up like a can of tuna. That's not what's going on right now. We have make sense lenders out there too, doing make sense deals for clients.
And I'm all about a make sense deal. Are we sliding back toward the days of, just writing a number down on a piece of on a napkin,
no,
and then handing it into the underwriter and getting a loan of your choice?
No, we're not walking. We're not walking back into the where you can blow, if you fog a mirror, you can get a loan. No, we're not doing that. But what we are doing thankfully, what we are doing is we're doing what's ability to repay, meaning that the client is proving that they can afford the mortgage.
And that, that makes great sense, and it's refreshing. Frankly, even going back a year or 2 years when they did require so much more of you,
right?
Let's put everything in perspective. You're asking a stranger to lend you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Sometimes millions.
And we have an issue with them wanting to see our tax returns, some pay stubs, and maybe a letter from our accountant.
Right.
Come on.
Or explain a deposit. It's yes.
Putting this thing into perspective. Okay, no one was born. I haven't read the Constitution end to end. I haven't read the Bill of Rights end to end. But I'm fairly certain that nowhere does it say thou are entitled to the mortgage of your choice.
Right.
Okay, it's not a God-given right that people just will lend you money whenever you need it or want it. And so, to me, it just always seemed, even when people were saying, God, financing is so tight. Well, selling homes, which we did plenty of during those days and still do, it always seemed to me that if you have a job, if you're generating income, if you have a good career, if you're not overextending yourself, if you're a real person with real provable assets and income and ability to repay, it seemed to me like those people were getting loans.
They're getting loans easier. And, I'll have a conversation I had with a client just the other day. So he was like, I'm sure you get this from your clients all the time. I'll offer all cash, or my family's going to give me the money, or maybe I should put down a big down payment. Actually, we had a client that you and I were working with about a week ago that is actually paying all cash for a condo that he's buying. The all cash interest rates are so cheap right now. We're talking cheap. And so my client I was talking to on the phone 2 days ago, I go, I'm going to get you this rate. And based on what I'm seeing on your tax returns the last 2 years, you're earning double, triple of what it's costing you on the money plus the tax deduction. So the money's cheap. So, and money's easy to get. And you don't need a big down payment, 3.5% down FHA, 10% down to $1.5 million. We've got programs out there, and I'm not going to open you up like a can of tuna. Your local lender's not going to open you up like a can of tuna. Well, what I will say is, don't be misled by the big banks, because the big banks, they're still having problems.
Right.
And they're still having problems.
So, in the last segment we talked about those big headlines, right? That put these impressions into people that are sometimes true, sometimes not, and that can negatively affect somebody's desire to put a plan together. Why on the mortgage side, why do we still have some of those misconceptions? Why do people think it is so tremendously difficult to get a loan? Is it that, is it headlines? Is it actually just a human? Is it part of the problem with American society today? If I can insert some of my own opinion, which is that we believe that we do have that God-given right to a mortgage, and we should just walk into your office and get one, walk right out.
Right.
Well, what is it? Because to me, again, it seems like a pretty normal and natural process that you'd have to just provide some documentation when someone's going to give you a few $100,000.
Yeah, I don't get it, Dan. I mean, I think I do believe it's the media. I do believe it's the people telling people that it's really difficult to get mortgages. We had a client just the other day who applied with us and 3 other different big banks. We ended up closing the loan because the big banks just sort of just disappeared on them. But they're scared. The media has put this fear in them that I think that that's difficult to get a mortgage. I mean, it's not. It's really not. And I have a team. You have a team. We have a team that handholds you through the whole process, and we explain everything to you. So
a lot of the theme of this show is get a plan in place, right? Get the truth, put a plan together, and don't operate off of what you're told out in your neighborhood or on TV, etc. Get with somebody like Todd and put a plan in place and find out what the truth is of how difficult it may or may not be to get a loan for your particular individual situation. And that you're listening to News Radio 600 KOGO. This is Real Estate Exposed, Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin, and I want to invite you to our home selling seminar. Okay, my team is going to be having a home selling seminar. We want to meet you, and we're super excited about this. We want to connect with you. We want to meet you. You can connect with us on Facebook also, and basically, all you have to do, it's free. You're going to just call 888-991-3003. Come and join us August 11th through the 13th, various times and locations. One will fit you. You're going to learn the top money-making fix-ups for getting your home ready for sale, which ones are smart to invest in, which ones aren't. We're going to dive into topics such as, the truth behind staging, which is something, what about staging? Should you do it? Should you not? Why? And what result can you expect? What is the right process and strategy for today's market to actually get your home sold for top dollar versus what most everybody out there does? Everybody out there just follows the same, take some pictures, slap them online.
List and pray, as Dan calls it, list and pray.
That's the reality of it. Most people are exposed to the list and pray model, which is get those pictures online, pray that somebody shows up, and then hold these individual private showings where your buyer does not have any clue that they're in competition with others. We're going to show you how to flip that script upside down and create an extremely competitive environment to get the most the market will bear for your home. It's going to be an awesome event. We have beautiful people.
A seminar that can't be missed. A seminar that can't be missed. What's the number again, Dan?
Give us a phone call. Get registered for free. Give us a call right now, and that's 888-991-3003. Again, 888-991-3003. You're listening to Real Estate Exposed, News Radio 600 KOGO. We're going to give you a taste for some of what we're going to be discussing at the seminar coming up next. Welcome back. We're with you, Real Estate Exposed, News Radio 600 KOGO, Sunday morning. And let's talk staging. And not because we want to talk furniture, not because we want to speak about interior design, but because we want to talk about how to get more dollars in your pocket when you're selling your home. That's what the whole entire home selling seminar that we're doing on August 11th, 12th, and 13th is all about. It's how do you choose the most, the smartest money-making fix-ups? How do you know what the right process and strategies are to sell a home in today's market? And do you understand today's market? Can you take the data that the market provides? It's available to everybody, but the difference and the advantages in how you interpret it. So that's what we're going to be doing. Give us a phone call. Register for it. It's free. The number's 888-991-3003. That's 888-991-3003. Can't wait to see you. Very, very excited to be in the same room together and talk real estate and show you how to get the most out of your home sale. Part of that is staging.
Let's talk about staging, Dan, because, people are scared of staging because they think it's going to cost them a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And they don't understand that, somebody's house. I mean, I've seen pictures on, going through the MLS and looking at stuff like that. You look at people's homes and you see how they live, and that's not how I live. So, people don't realize that's how important staging is. When I hear staging, if you were to come to me and you were trying to list my house and you said, I got to stage your house, I'm thinking this is going to cost me a whole bunch of money. Is that a true statement or not a true statement?
It couldn't be further from the truth, because of anything that you could do to your home, I'd actually have trouble pointing to any investment that would give you a greater return, dollar for dollar, than staging the house. Okay, the staging, on a very high level, staging is going to enhance the photography.
Okay.
Let's now think about how somebody looks for a home. Okay, they're in pajamas, they're in their bedroom, they're on one of the many websites that show real estate listings, and they're literally just going next,
picture.
Right? They're just looking at a picture, clicking next, looking at a picture, clicking next. That's how somebody searches for a home. Now, whether they understand it or realize it or not, if you're going through that process yourself, your subconscious is just waiting for something to grab its attention and to cause you to slow down and pay attention. Staging, followed by professional photography, of course, is going to enhance the probability that people even pay attention to your home to begin with. And rather than giving you, say, 2 seconds of screen time, give you 10 or 15 seconds of screen time and actually dive in deeper and request an appointment.
Does staging mean, simple? Can I ask, it's a dumb question, but can staging mean as simple as, let's say, in your son's bedroom, making the bed and taking some of the crap out of his or her room?
So it's a great question, because everybody is staging. If you're listening to this right now and you're selling your home, you staged your home. You may not understand you staged it, but you staged it. You might have staged it like a pigsty. You might have staged it like a mess. You might have staged it like a shrine to your favorite sports team.
Right.
But you staged it. Or you could do think about the professional home builders.
Right.
Okay, if you've ever been to one of
those, I love that.
People love going to those model homes. Whether you're buying a home or not, most people love going to model homes.
Right.
And it's because they're beautifully staged. And let me tell you,
they show you how they're going to live in the house, right? They show that it's not just for me, but it's like how everybody wants to live.
Well, and they also allow you to insert your imagination into that picture. Right. And it's a very studied and very exact process. It's a scientific process. Okay, as much as there's an artistic element to it, there's also a scientific element to it. It's not by accident that these multi-$100 million companies such as Toll Brothers and Shea and Pardee and Standard Pacific, it's not by accident that they all follow the same sales process. And part of that, at the core of it, is staging a model. If that didn't give them an absolute return on investment, if for every dollar invested into the staging, they didn't see $3 or $4 or $5 back, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it because they're just like you. They want the most money also. You want the most money. They do it because they know that there's a return.
So I know you're going to do a selling seminar. This is going to be a big topic in your selling seminar, but can you give me one tip? Give me one. What's one tip that people don't know? What's a good staging tip? What's a cheap, easy staging tip that you walk in to a house and immediately this is something you do to stage a house?
A quick tip would be, let's say you have your kitchen counter as an example.
Right.
Okay. You want about 75% of the space empty. All right. If you have a big kitchen counter, you maybe have 2 or 3 things on it at most. The big tip when you're the biggest tip actually. Following that, but the biggest tip,
the kitchen doesn't cost you anything. You just move the stuff and put it in a cabinet.
The biggest tip is that you need a mindset shift to realize that all professional sales environments are staged,
right.
And it's not just home selling. If you walk into Macy's is staged.
Well, talk about Apple.
An Apple store is staged. It's staged to move the customer from entering the store to a purchase decision. And when you're selling your home, it is just as exact, just as thought out, just as scientific if you're working with the right real estate professional that's going to guide you through that process. On August 11th through the 13th, we're going to dive deep into the home selling process, and it is a free home selling seminar. You're going to love this. There's been tons of time and attention put into it by some of the area's absolute top real estate professionals. You're going to learn the most important money-making fix-ups. We're going to dive deep into that home selling process, the psychology that is necessary to achieve the highest potential sale, and we're going to understand what today's market looks like and how we adapt that knowledge and interpret it to create the most advantageous selling environment for you in your home.
So how do they sign up for this?
All you do is call 888-991-3003. I'm going to say that again. That's 888-991-3003. There's no charge. Super excited to meet you. I'm excited that we're going to get to spend. It's just an hour, by the way.
It's an hour
of your time.
It's going to be on our Facebook page too, right?
It's going to be on our Facebook page. Connect with us there. Come spend 1 hour of your time. You're going to walk away. I guarantee this is the one guarantee I absolutely make, and I'd put my entire online reputation on the line if this statement isn't true. Come and experience it. If you don't walk away having learned something that is effective, that you can use to truly get more out of the sale of your home, regardless, by the way, of who you're working with, it's not an infomercial. This is data that's going to be actionable for you. Call us, 888-991-3003. If that statement isn't true, then you know what? It's a big free online world, and I wouldn't ever make a promise live on radio like this that wouldn't come true. Absolutely, that's not going to be backed up.
Agreed.
Give us a phone call, 888-991-3003. Reserve your spot for our home selling seminar. This is Real Estate Exposed. Another glorious Sunday morning. Todd.
Have a great day, Dan.
Have a great one.